Hello, everyone. In this lecture, we are going to be discussing return on investment, also known as ROI. So what is return on investment? Return on investment is used to evaluate the efficiency of an investment that a company is going to make or a project that they are going to undertake. ROI is the gain earned on an investment. And the calculation is the net profit divided by the cost of the investment times 100, which will give you a percentage return for ROI. So as an example, if you spend $1,000 per month in pay-per-click ads and you generate $2,000 per month from those ads, you would take the net profit. Your net profit is $2,000 divided by your initial investment, which is $1,000, and that equates to $2. And I didn't do the percentage in this particular example. But what that means is that you've earned $2 for every dollar you invested in pay-per-click ads. So very important to note that if an ROI returns a negative number, a negative percentage, you want to reject the purchase of the capital equipment or the project. And if it returns a positive number, you will want to accept the purchase or proceed with the project. And just a side note there, it really depends on what the positive number is. So some organizations, for example, have certain hurdle rates that they want, excuse me, each project to yield. So if you propose a project that comes in at 5%, but the company you work for typically approves projects that bring in an ROI of 8%, that might get rejected. So there's the anticipated ROI. So this is done before a project or a purchase begins, and it's ensuring that you have all of the costs associated with the initial investment and the anticipated cash flows from that investment. So if you buy a piece of machinery, of course, you'll have the cost of that machinery, but maybe there are costs to have that machine delivered, and perhaps there are costs to have that machine installed. All that would have to be included in the initial investment. The actual ROI is typically determined at the end of the project when everything is added up to see what the costs are and what the revenues are. And again, the calculation is the return, the benefit that divided by your initial investment. So in this example, you purchase a piece of equipment for $10,000 and that machine will bring in cash flows of $400. So my return is $400 divided by my initial investment of $10,000, giving me an ROI of 4%. So if I'm working with an organization that says any projects have to bring in 8%, this would most likely be rejected. So here's some more examples. The ROI in its simplest form, you make an investment in some stocks and you put in $1,000 and you sell 1 year later, and when you sell, you get $1,400. There's a gain, right? Your gain is $400 because your $1,000 is what your initial investment was. So your net profit, again, is $400. So I'm going to take that net profit of $400, divide that by the initial investment of $1,000, multiply that by 100 to get a percentage. And this shows me that I have an ROI of 40%, which is really good. So here's the scenario where you have 3 different options. You know, you have $1,000 sitting in your pocket, 5,000 sitting in your pocket, 6,000 sitting in your pocket, and you want to invest it in stocks and you don't know which one to do. So you do all 3 and you sell everything 1 year later. That $1,000 investment, as we stated in previous slides, ends up being valued at $1,400, right? That gives you a 40% ROI. That $5,000 you invested returns $5,500. So your gain is $500. 500 divided by the initial investment of $5,000 is 10%. And the $6,000, you walk away with $7,500, which is $1,500 gain, and you divide that by the $6,000, and that gives you the 25% ROI. So it's not always about, the dollar value is always going to give you, your initial investment is always going to give you the highest ROI, and this is a perfect example of that. So here's what we've learned in this lecture. Return on investment measures the efficiency of an investment. The anticipated ROI does all of the work up front before a project or a purchase before it takes place. The actual ROI is once the project is completed, and it calculates the actual ROI considering all costs and expenses. Positive ROIs should be accepted. Again, it depends on the company that you work for and the ROI that they anticipate from any purchases and products. Negative ROI should not be accepted under any conditions. It just means that you are going to lose money if you make an investment, should it come out to be negative. And the calculation is the return, the benefit, divided by the initial investment multiplied by 100 to give you a percentage.